Hello everyone, this is Final Gamer here, and I'm about to take you on a magical tour back to 1977, as envisioned in 1992. Now in stereo! So, we all know about the original trilogy, and the great influence it has had on our culture and generation and such. But what about playing the original trilogy? Because unless it's a video game, I'm not interested. So yes, Super Star Wars. I plan to do the original trilogy all the way through on the SNES. We have 3 difficulty modes, indicated of easy, normal, hard, obviously. 4 buttons, 2 of which we will not be using for most of the game, so we won't need to care about that. I'll play on the normal grade mode, because, well, why not? This game is quite near and dear to my heart, in the sense that I played this a lot when I was a kid, and, you know, when you are a kid and you get a licensed game, and you're like, oh man, I can play the movie at home! This is so cool! Well, that kind of thing influences you, and I played this a lot of times. Boss spoiler. Also because this game has an amazing presentation. It looks great, it sounds beautiful. Like seriously, the sound design is the greatest strength of this game, and it blows everything away. So let's start off with that example right now. So, just while the credits are rolling, the intro is rolling, I've never been a huge Star Wars fan, surprisingly. I'm not like super big, I'm not the kind of person who watches the movie 20 times. I've only seen the original trilogy 3 times. And, you know, I've seen the new trilogy once, and I'm not going to say anything good about on either movies, because, you know, we're not talking about the movies, we're talking about the games. And doesn't matter at this point, because we all remember how the movies went, so there's little bits and pieces we'll know. I might throw in 1 or 2 nerdy bits of info, but honestly that's all I can do, because there's probably other people who know this world way more than I, but let's not go there. Let's not ruin the thread with that kind of talk, or nerd rage or anything, because, well, there's plenty of rage about in the games themselves, and don't worry, there will be rage. It just wouldn't be Star Wars without rage. Caught in the middle of an intergalactic war above a planet somewhere we don't know. I don't even know what galaxy this is, so someone could explain that to me. But that's not important, because we are Luke Skywalker in the Dune Sea. So, now we get to the gameplay. The Star Wars trilogy, on the SNES at least, has a very arcade-style gameplay. Kinda like Castlevania, I suppose, would be closest to it. We start out with a really shitty blaster, and that's really it so far. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it fires incredibly fast, so you can rack up a lot of damage incredibly. One tactic, the thing you must always do in this game, is to never stop running. Because enemies respawn insanely in this game. Like, this is one of the big complaints and difficulty problems of the game. Enemy respawning. But on the upside, every enemy drops hearts, which restore your health. There's that life bar on the top left, lightsaber. There's also secret hidden things like the, that big heart up there. Also womp rats. And on your here, we have a blaster power-up. You can upgrade your blaster across the game. Like, for now, our flame blaster destroys these womp rats in 1 hit. That destroys anything in the Dune Sea in 1 hit. jump button can do two things, aside from doing normal jumps. It lets you jump insanely high for height, but you can't shoot during it, and allows you to slide like a boss by going down right and jump button. It's a little finicky to do it sometimes, but once you learn it, and believe me, the game will make you learn it at a later stage, it's pretty easy because it helps you outrun enemies, like those Womp Rats, and it saves you a lot of time. Unless an enemy spawns in front of you and you have to face them full on. Sometimes there are hidden items, like that big heart in the previous Dune, which is why I shoot up into the air a lot. Because sometimes shit is around. And I keep swearing to myself there must be another blaster power up here, but no, there isn't. I checked every Dune and back. Those sand pits, by the way, they're not lethal. You can sit in those and bunk out. At least the ones in this level. This is quite a short level, it's pretty introductory. Nice background and everything, there's not much here. So now we go to our first boss, the Sarlacc Pit Monster. Because I know he's not coming in another 2 films, so let's introduce him here. Sarlacc Pit Monster has a long-range attack and a short-range attack. So, tactics-wise, he's very simple. But the problem is, you can't really shoot those rocks very well. You get hurt quite a bit, and close range, his tentacles just mess you up. On high jump there, just to show off. This is me kind of trying to get a good spot and sort of shoot down. And I kind of fuck up the timing and I end up shooting into the ground rather than ducking. Basically, like, the controllers are like, well, you're shooting first and you're ducking second, so you're going to shoot into the ground. And, well, that's Super Star Wars. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone. No, never mind. So, yeah, died on the first level. That's not a great sign. Normally I can go through the first level with no problems, but oh well. Anyways, let's skip ahead and get back to the boss here. Flame Blaster and everything. So, the real tactic to deal with this guy is... Firstly, don't worry about the tentacles. Even though the sand is pulling you in, rather. You can shoot a lot of damage into him because he doesn't have a lot of health. Here, however, is the perfect spot. Just in the bottom of here while he's on the far right. Because you can shoot upwards and hit those rocks no problem, and you can sort of alternate between shooting him and shooting back. Once his health is this low, you can just tank it, and because you take more damage off him than he takes damage off you. One time I managed to get him in that spot on the far right for 2 minutes, and I'd knocked out 3/4 of his health. You can cheat, you can trick the AI like that, it's kind of weird. So, Luke apparently spotted a Crash Pro that came from above. And we got this dude here. Looks like his pal's being kidnapped by those Jawas. Well, let's help him out, because he's a cool dude, I guess. So, you've seen one part of the gameplay. This is part 2, the obligatory Mode 7 stage. The Mode 7 stage is... well, it's what you'd expect. It's quite slippery to control, and the way this works is you have to shoot a number of enemies in order to reach an area. In this case, we have to shoot 12 Jawas in order to reach the Sandcrawler. You can see the Sandcrawler on the left coming up. And the more Jawas we shoot, the more closer it gets. Losing all your health destroys the land speeder, and that's a problem. The fuel you can recharge by shooting those pylons and dealing with those. Losing all your jet fuel doesn't mean the end of the land speeder, it just means you don't get to move around as much. Those crevices take away your health, so avoid those. Jawas throw grenades, which are annoying. Honestly, you could just let them spawn in front of you, and as long as you don't move too much and go left and right, you won't have problems. It's actually an easy stage. Although I will point out, if you try to go forwards while shooting like that, you'll shoot into the ground, because the way it's angled. So, try not to do that or you'll find yourself getting bumped into a Jawa. And dealing with Womp Rats as well. So, dealing with all those Jawas, we can just head up to the Sandcrawler. See you later, shitlords! Yep, that's pretty much how you do it. That's why we need the jet boost. We just walk toward the sandcrawler and finish the level. So, next time, hopefully, we'll go into the sandcrawler to the worst part of the game and murder some Jawas. See you all later on.